can only tell you about my use with it. I'm not a multimeter expert. I'm not an electrician. I'm simply a homeowner who has to do his own work on his own home because I really can't afford to hire an electrician. So essentially, this is what I bought to do all the diagnostic, or the majority of the diagnostic work and the checking on my home. It is a Fluke 117. It is meant to be held in the hand, in that I think they were meant for field work or to be held in the hand and used, where the other ones I think are more desktop oriented because of their size and their features as well. However, this one features things that an electrician would likely use. One of the things is, if you can see at the bottom, it says volt alert. Well, if you have a non-contact voltmeter or volt tester, it's the same thing. I'll have to move this camera so give you a demonstration. You can see how sensitive it can be under the high setting. That's beeping is indicating that there is some power. As it gets closer to the receptacle, it shows you that there is some power running through that. Now if I hit the range to the low, it has a range button on the meter that gives you high and low. The low setting is not so sensitive, so if you wanted to test a particular outlet, or if you needed to get close to some wires without it going off too far away so that you can identify the wires that you're trying to test, or the receptacle, it'll allow you to get closer, right up to about an inch, which is about where some of your sensitive non-contact voltage testers end up. This auto V function that you can see there, it kind of identifies automatically if you're going to use this in an application where you were going to use the probes for DC and AC current. So you can see in this meter that this is set on the auto V function. And if I go through, I can't hold the camera and do this all at once, but if I put these probes in the outlet, and you see the reading that I have, it automatically recognized AC voltage, and it gave me a proper reading. But if I do this again, in the same auto V function, you could see that it gave me 1.3 DC voltage. Hope you're able to see that. And this is a 1.3 volt AAA battery. So it differentiates automatically between AC and DC. And that's a nice handy feature as well. Otherwise you simply move this over to the AC setting, which is the V with a wavy line above it. DC setting is the V with the dotted and straight line. The upside down horseshoe is the resistance setting. That will give you if you need to check resistance between, let's say this is running through your household, it's a long wire, and you want to see if there's resistance running through it and what it is, and it'll give you a reading of the sort of resistance that's running through that. And that way, if there's too much resistance, you know that it could be in the line, or for a number of other reasons. But that's just one of the other functions that I use this for. It also can be used under continuity for the same purpose, but simply the continuity would be looking at point A, point B, and wanting to see that there's not a broken line. The audible signal tells you there's not a broken line. If it was broken, it wouldn't have any audible noise, and then you can tell from that, and then make your diagnostics accordingly. The other functions that this particular meter has a diodes setting, I don't use that. That's more for electronics use. Then the amp settings here, I don't use at all. This requires that the lead probe be placed into this jack here, which allows it for it to be fused. This is a 10 amp fuse, and some of the other multimeters go to milliamps. So in any event, this is a very good multimeter, and it's got a lot of functions that I can use around the house. I don't see any reason that I'll ever need another multimeter. It's got a nice durable case on the exterior. It's got a clear screen with the light, backlight that I've shown. The probes that it comes with, they're not these. These are aftermarket silicone probes that are still by Fluke. But the other ones that come with it are fine, except they are of non-silicone wire. They're just a plastic coated wire, but they're very good. I'll show you another thing that I do with the meter, and it's primarily for checking things like switches. If you're not familiar with this is a basic single pole, single throw type switch. And what I'll do is I'll clamp my leads onto the 2 gold screws. I'll set my meter to either resistance, or I can set it to, in this case, continuity setting. It will show me the same thing, in that I have a closed circuit, and the continuity beep tells me that I've opened the circuit properly and it's showing a continuous read, and I can close that circuit. So the switch is operating appropriately, and it is a good switch. The other features that I would say that this has, as far as multimeters go, it is a bit pricey at $160 or $170, but I think the Fluke has a really good warranty. If anything goes wrong with them, you can send them back and they'll cover them for you, cover the problems. But they're very, very durable. They're very reliable, and I think they're among the best type of multimeters out there. But I just chose to go with the Fluke because it's well established in the company. They are very, very highly rated if you go online to check them. And I haven't found many people with any problems with them that they weren't able to address with the company solving the problem for them, or other folks, because of the popularity of Flukes in general, taking care of it and assisting them with that. But I think the meters are great. I think the company is great in terms of they stand behind their product. And overall, I think 1 meter for me is all I'm ever going to need, and this is going to be it. So it's a small investment. Like I said, I can't afford to hire an electrician. The $160 or $170, it wouldn't even cover 1 day with an electrician at my home. So that's the way I look at it. If I'm going to have to do all the work myself, I'm going to put in the money to get some decent equipment, and this just happens to be one of them. Hopefully this was helpful to you.